So, whilst you were cleaning up vomit on Friday night, you're also breaking stories for the Daily Telegraph. So, would love to know how this started to trickle through because it was huge news on Friday night, Michael.
Yeah, massive news late on Friday night. I think word started to get filtered through to some agents and some clubs in the NRL that there was an email being sent out from the R360 officials, I guess, to say that the tournament had been delayed by 12 months. So...
Wow. No, by 2 years.
By 2 years.
2028.
2028.
Instead of 26, it went to 28.
28,
so
sorry.
after the Rugby World Cup,
right?
Yep.
And that's due to a couple of factors. Number one is money, right? That's obviously the major factor. The one is the resistance, I guess, that some players, particularly rugby union guys, were going to have by not being able to be eligible potentially for the World Cup or represent their country if they were going to play in R360.
Yep.
So now this gives it a little bit of clean air, I guess, to try and sort that out or get through the World Cup cycle. So some players who at the end of their international careers will chase the cash instead of representing their nations. From an NRL perspective, it's a big win for the NRL.
Can I just go back one step? How did this happen? Because everyone that was close to this felt there was a legitimacy to what R3... Like the Broncos were terrified of losing Payne Haas. Zach Lomax did what he did and we all went, he must be going to... It felt like this was going to happen. Not having the money is like point A.
Yeah.
And they've missed that.
Yeah. Yeah. And what it does do now is it really, for future tournament, it really... players...
Question mark.
Yeah, you'd be going with trepidation.
Yep.
Right? We heard Tom Trbojevic laugh it off last week when I think you asked him, would he ever... He goes, no, that's not for me, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that it's been put off in this way, huge reputational damage to the tournament.
So it's going to make it that much harder to attract players in 2028. And now we know why no one put their name to it. There were all these players that were mentioned, but no... Mike Tyndall aside, and he was the figurehead.
Yes.
But no organisation, no private equity firm, no individuals were prepared to put their hand up and say, hey, like when Live Golf came out, Greg Norman was front and centre, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He said, yep, hey, I'm recruiting all these golfers. We had none of that from R360. Here's what Peter V'landys has been totally vindicated over this. This is what he said in November about the breakaway competition.
Any competition that comes out of the cornflakes box, I'm not really concerned about because that's what it is. It's a complete unprofessional. They've got no business plan. Any player that goes is really risking their career. They only have to look at Salford this year in Super League. That was a similar situation. The players didn't get paid. So, look, as I said, it's a competition out of a cornflakes box. I'm not going to be concerned about it.
And he's been completely vindicated.
He's
exactly
bullish. He's been
right.
quite bullish about it. And look, there's no doubt there'd be a sense of relief in NRL HQ when word started filtering through on Friday night.
And the clubs. The club's significant. I know that there was a club boss 2 months ago was genuinely concerned.
Like people kept, because we kept writing about it, right?
Yes.
And people kept asking, is it going to get up? I said, I have no idea, right? But I was covering it from an NRL perspective.
Yes,
And
right,
what the ramifications are from the NRL. I don't know much about R360. As you said, they're lurking in the shadows,
Yes.
right? But what I do know is that it could have had a significantly detrimental effect on the game.
So let's go through it then from a rugby league perspective.
Yes.
What's Zach Lomax going to do?
Don't know. So the Zach Lomax deal, the release for Parramatta, he can't play for another NRL club.
Conditional release.
Yes, so it's a conditional release. So now Parramatta hold all the aces. Okay, if they really want Zach back or Zach wants to play in the NRL, they get first rights.
Do you think they want him back? I don't think they do.
I think that ship sailed now, right? But what
if they said, could we get him back? If there's only Super Rugby available at 150K, could they go, right, we'll give you 300, you can come and play?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think the release would have to be, like the ability to come back and sign him would have to be on the original terms. And I don't think the NRL would have registered a deal for Zach at a cut price, right? But what it does do, it does give him power, okay? Because there will be clubs, I have no doubt, would be ringing his agent going, what's his go? Okay. So Parramatta will have to release him to another club if he wants to come back and play in the NRL.
Ooh,
So
leverage.
they've got leverage, right? So the power is
Ooh.
all in Parramatta's hands. The difference with Ryan Pappenhausen, right? We had Justin Rodsky. I think I was doing the run home that week that came out. And I asked him, what's the terms to Ryan Pappenhausen's release? He said none.
Yep.
So he's a free agent.
Right.
Okay. The difference
But
between they're completely different situations. While they're managed by the same agency, they're completely different.
In what
okay?
way? So explain that difference.
I feel like Ryan Pappenhausen deep down was done with rugby league, at least in the short term, right? I feel like he needed a break. He was mentally fatigued. He'd been through so much with his body to get his body up and right and willing to go again. I feel like this was a perfect storm for him, the R360 situation where he goes, I think I could be done, right?
Yep.
I still want to play sport. I want to, there's an opportunity. Go see the world, play in a new competition, freshen up experience, right? So I got it from Pappenhausen's point of view. Zach Lomax, what is he, 26? That was in the midst of a long-term deal. He's now at the crossroads.
Playing his best footy, had played for New South Wales,
Yes,
played for Australia.
Yes, and would have been a constant there.
Yes.
Right, so they're different situations, right?
Yep.
But if I'm Perth, I'm picking up the phone and saying, hey, Paps, what's doing? Where are you at?
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be the only club. I'd be saying, Ryan, where are you at, mate? Do you need a break? If you want a break, we'll give you a break. Right?
Perth could give him a break.
Well, Perth would give him a big break. Doesn't get paid this year, though. But if he wants a break, all right, well, why don't we sign you to a 2.5-year deal?
So what do you think for Zach Lomax? French rugby, shut, basically. There might be the opportunity to go there. Japanese rugby, their squads are done. Super rugby. I think Lottie Takiri's come out and said, play Super Rugby, play for the Wallabies, play in the World Cup, play R360 2028. Feels a long way off. I don't know how much. I don't think he's played any rugby at all.
Yeah.
Zach Lomax. So, and there was the other thing about MMA.
Yeah.
Mixed martial arts and whether he'd do any boxing. So that's Zach Lomax. Ryan Pappenhausen, you've explained. Does this mean automatically that Payne Haas signs with the Brisbane Broncos?
What I'm going to be really interested in, so Payne Haas, I feel at some point he was going to R360. Right? He was going to go. The money was just too easy. If they could pay him up front, which is what he requested.
So that's here's the deal. Okay, yeah, I'm interested in that. All right, yep. Any conditions? Yes, pay me now.
Pay me now.
And that's what stopped it.
Pay me a lump sum now from happening.
Yes.
Right? And then I'd commit. So the length of the deal is going to be interesting for Payne Haas. But surely he stays at Brisbane.
It feels like it's either the Broncos or R360. It's not another NRL club. And we've talked about the reasons why with Payne's family situation.
And monetary-wise, Brisbane are going to make him a massive offer. All the third parties he'll be able to pick up in Brisbane as well. Aside from Reece Walsh is the most marketable player, Payne would be next.
Yep.
Okay, so, and, he's a New South Welshman as well.
And the thing around Payne is changing, isn't it? Like Payne 4 years ago had a few issues off field, had all this stuff. Yeah. Now, Michael Maguire's got him into the leadership group. We acknowledge what a great player he is. He wins his 6th Paul Morgan medal, and you go, well, he's an upstanding citizen of the Brisbane community, especially the stuff that he's doing with his family.
Yeah, there's lots of layers and complications around Payne Haas's life, right? That he's, seems to have worked out for himself.
Yes.
In terms of getting his off-field life in a direction where it's at now. So, I think, PNG will have a crack at Payne Haas, but whether or not he's on the open market until then.
So he's 26 he's signed for.
Yes.
So you think maybe just sign a 1-year deal, 27?
Not sure. I'm not sure, but I'm going to be very intrigued by the length of contract.
That would be smart by his agent. That would be smart if he was to do that.
He's still going to get a monster deal from Brisbane.
Of course. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, what's it mean for him?
Yeah. Depends on what Roger wants to do.
Yep.
Roger, at the end of his career, the Warriors always said, mate, if you want to go, go, right? If you don't want to go, we'll find space for you.
Okay.
So if he wants to go play rugby again, he can go play rugby again. If he wants to stay at the Warriors, they'll keep him.
His performances this year were clearly NRL standard.
Oh, yeah.
Roger's still got that to offer. So it's not like you're holding out someone else.
He's still a very good first grader.
Oh, absolutely.
Roger Tuivasa-Sheck.
Absolutely. Yeah. Did he come second in their Player of the Year? Aaron Clark, I think it was.
He played a lot of footy and was really consistent for him, while some of the big guns around him were injured, right?
Yes.
So, he showed. But it's, very interesting, the fact that it's not going to go ahead yet. whether it gets off the ground or not, but a huge relief for the NRL. Huge relief.
Absolute relief. By the way, thanks, Chuck. Yeah, RTS won it, the Player of the Year. Aaron Clark second.
Gotcha.
So there you go. They've adjudged him to be their best player. And he'd be the type of guy that walk in with an attitude that you would just go, oh, please, can everyone have an attitude like this guy?
Roger, yeah.
The
On and
ultimate
off the field,
professional.
yeah.
The ultimate professional. So there you go. R360, dead in the water. Out of a cornflakes packet, as described by Peter Volandis. Give us your thoughts. 1300 01 1170. Get us on that text line as well. 0457 736 736. Supercar champion Chaz Mostert, our special guest after 8 o'clock. You're listening to the boys of summer for Bryden's Lawyers. Remember, if you need expert legal advice, that's what we do. For more like that, make sure to follow the SEN socials and listen to SEN 1170 AM, Sydney's home of sport.